Bang, bang, Niner gang. Happy Sunday, sports fans. Welcome into Sports Sunday. Jake Gadon here, riding solo. Major League Baseball will be played right behind me in what's being called the most intimate ballpark in the MLB. The legend of Brock Purdy continues. The former third-string quarterback in his first playoff start with 4 total touchdowns on the day. For an FCS guy playing an FBS opponent, you have been overlooked most likely your whole football career when it comes to college football. To be able to beat a Power 5 program like this, what does that mean to you? No, it is not a done deal. They're still having a conversation. If I can, my photog will probably pan off to the left center field area of Sutter Health Park. That area is the area that was just improved by the Rivercats this offseason. It was the home clubhouse. They'll probably have to update the away clubhouse along with that video board out there. Those are some of the improvements they were talking about. Last time the 49ers played on Christmas Day, Kyle Shanahan attended it as a fan, watching his father Mike call plays for the San Francisco offense. And let's be real, when you have an open 3 with the game on the line, your team is hitting over 40% from 3, you let it rip and live with the results. We'll start with Mizzou. What do you like about them this year?
I don't love them.
Okay, that solves it. Okay. My NBA prospects, hold on, let's see if I can do it. Still rocking and rolling. Done. See you guys. That's it. The Warriors season is over, but that doesn't mean the dynasty is done. Happy Saturday, sports fans. Jake Gadon here. We heard it in the late 90s with Michael Jordan and the Bulls. We heard it again in the early 2000s with Kobe and the Lakers. Heck, we even heard it in 2020 with this same exact team. NC State is another Cinderella story. 6 straight, Kenny, okay? Yeah. I can't believe it, all right? If you talk about them a week and a half ago, their head coach is possibly on the way out, right on the hot seat. Right. Yet they're heading to the Sweet 16. Pretty big stuff. It's a phrase that hasn't been uttered here in the capital city in 17 years. The Sacramento Kings are playoff bound. Because in the end, that's what Kings owner Vivek Ranadive wants, an audition for Sacramento to be a permanent home for MLB baseball.
Hey, Eric, you're heading back to the Super Bowl. What's that feeling like?
Man, it's an amazing feeling. We're down and everybody's throwing dirt on us, but if Clemson's a stock, you better buy all you freaking can buy right now.
Don't worry, Coach. I called my guy. $200 on the Tigers next week. In the NFL, there's a fine line of being drafted and undrafted. It might be your height, your weight, your strength, maybe your pure football ability. Now, if you're lucky, you might be drafted in one of the 7 rounds in the NFL draft, but for most, see their football careers come to an end. Yet, for those hard-nosed, stubborn football players, they do make it to the NFL with the road less traveled, and if they're lucky, they get to this week in Super Bowl 58. Their name? The Underdogs.
I felt like I always had to work harder than the next person.
At this year's Super Bowl, of course, there are the Nick Bosas and Christian McCaffreys of the world, top draft picks making millions of dollars.
When everyone wants to go party, when everyone wants to go on trips, stay back and practice harder.
But at the opposite end, there are those glue guys, the ones that take the road less traveled. 49ers like safety Tashawn Gibson Jr. and center Jake Brendel.
That undrafted underdog kind of mentality that at some point it just became a part of who I am.
I was undrafted, really had to work my tail off to get, just the opportunities.
And to say they're playing in the Super Bowl, well, they wouldn't believe it.
17-year-old me would be like bouncing off the walls right now in here. And a little bit of me right now is too. It's such an amazing experience.
That 17-year-old me, he probably would have been like, man, stop playing. No way. Like, no way you'd be playing in a Super Bowl. It just seems so far-fetched when you think about, man, just making it to the NFL, let alone playing in a Super Bowl. So to be here right now, man, I never could have scripted this.
And there's no bigger underdog story than 49ers QB Brock Purdy.
To never give up, even when you go through some tough seasons or tough games, it's going to work out if you continue to put your head down and go to work.
From Mr. Irrelevant to perfect Purdy, Mr. QB1 has always believed.
I've watched games on TV and be like, I can be there, and I can do what it takes to get there if it's God's will. And so I think if my 17-year-old self heard that, he'd believe it.
So block out the haters, fuel the doubt, and let your courage and determination bring you to places you never thought you could go.
To be here right now in this moment, man, I'm so thankful right here. It's the coolest feeling, man. You have no idea.
The continued sentiment all week long or all day long yesterday was that never give up mentality, because you never know where it's going to put you and where you're going to end up. Look at me. I'm just a small town kid who got a job here at Sacramento, and now I'm at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Tony and Marley. It's a dream come true. Third time's the charm. That's at least what Republic FC owner Kevin Nagel told me this week in our one-on-one conversation about another possible move to the MLS for the Indomitable Club. Do I believe him? Well, like most Sacramento fans, actions will speak louder than words. And I'm not just talking about a press conference like 2019. I'm talking a signature on a legal document. But his new quote-unquote whale looks to be legit. The Stronach Group, led by Belinda Stronach, is a dynamic media and entertainment group from north of the border in Canada whose horse racing brands are nothing to gloss over, from the Preakness Stakes to the Pegasus World Cup. The Stronachs are accomplished businessmen and women who have worked in the Canadian Parliament. Sounds like a triple threat, pun intended. And Nagel, he'll need them, not only for his stadium, but to fit the $500 million bill for the MLS entrance fee. And speaking of a stadium, we've all been waiting for it in the rail yards. Nagel says a stadium is going to be built. It could be 15,000 seats. It could be 25,000 seats. Sac State could get involved. Same with the city. But when I pressed Nagel on when a deal could be struck or when construction could begin, Nagel said this. What makes you feel more confident that the third time is going to happen? Because we've done the dog and pony show with this before, 2019 and everything like that.
We learn from our mistakes, right? I feel that we're not that far away, and I think one way or another, short of a guarantee, you're going to see a stadium built there.
So could we say 6 months? Are we thinking a year? Are we thinking 5 years?
I can't put a time on it.
Okay. I was just again, a lot of these fans are clamoring for it because they
have
want
a right
it.
to. They have a right to, because we thought it was going to happen.
Now, I'm not sure if Nagel's telling the truth. They're just trying to create media buzz once again, because these negotiations, I'll be honest, they're not an easy thing with multiple parties. I do know this. You can call it soccer, you can call it football, but in baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. And Kevin is 1 pitch away from ending the game. That will do it for another edition of Sports Sunday. I'm Jake Gadon. See you same time, same place next week, Knuckleheads. As always, deuces.